Welcome to News Around. Before we begin, tap subscribe, hit like, and if you want to support deeper reporting, press join. We analyze what the headlines leave unfinished. Today's story is one of those. Read on, comment below, and tell us, what do you think happened at the airport? A single photograph, posted in the quiet hours of the morning, transformed what should have been a routine business departure into one of the most debated episodes on Turkish social networks. The image showed a passport beside a cup of coffee, soft terminal lighting reflected on a polished surface, an archetypal off-I-go shot designed to hint at movement without revealing destiny. The caption read simply, "New horizons, new challenges. Here I come." No tagged destination, no airline check-in confirmation, and, most provocatively for the watchful followers who track every interaction attributed to Sıla Türkoğlu, no companion visible in the frame. That omission, minute and perhaps intentional, catalyzed an avalanche of conjecture. On fan pages where even a change in footwear can generate a theory, the question repeated like a drumbeat, was Halil there when she left? Not long after the post surfaced, a low-resolution clip emerged on a popular fan account, a hooded figure, sunglasses, cap down, a discreet entrance, footage blurred by haste and phone movement. Observers, primed to recognize posture and stride, declared the video evidence enough. Within minutes the clip moved from private message chains to public timelines and then into layered edits and frame-by-frame dissections. That single, shaky recording did what a press release could not. It forced the narrative into speculation. Management's terse reply to a direct inquiry, "We cannot comment on his private life at this time," was not a denial, and it was precisely this strategic silence that fed the rumor mill. In celebrity ecosystems, ambiguity operates as currency. Unconfirmed hints are recycled into headlines, and headlines beget speculation, which then loops back into new content for fans and tabloids alike. The story widened when a purported witness, claiming presence in a VIP lounge, offered a small, cinematic fragment. Two voices exchanged lines that sounded intimate and private. A plea not to cry, a soft concession of inability. No faces were shown, only tones relayed by memory and then transcribed into text on a message board. That testimony, unverifiable yet emotionally potent, circulated swiftly. For many followers it read like confirmation that something tender and confidential transpired behind the airport's closed doors. Whether these auditory impressions were overheard by accident, or intentionally evoked by listeners eager for romance, they injected the narrative with human scale, a reminder that public figures sometimes live through their private sorrows in rooms meant to be secure. In the hours that followed, every available platform responded according to its nature. Twitter X threaded lines of speculation into trending hashtags. TikTok editors turned seconds into 1,000-video tapestry of reaction and fantasy. Instagram accounts uploaded carefully calibrated collages suggesting timelines of togetherness. Fans built associations out of gestures, a similar watch, a matching book on a shelf, parallel playlist tastes, and argued that intimacy can be inferred as readily from artifacts as from photographed embraces. This phenomenon is not merely fandom. It is an economy of attention where engagement translates into cultural value. The more ambiguity persists, the more content proliferates, and the more producers and publicists weigh the benefits of secrecy against the promotional windfall generated by mystery. Statements like these perform double duty. For their makers, they articulate an emotion while preserving ambiguity. For audiences, they provide threads from which to weave entire sagas. From within Sıla's immediate professional circle arrived a detail with concrete bearings. She will spend 3 months filming in a European city and, importantly, requested no visitors during the first month to focus wholly on work. For some commentators, That instruction read as straightforward professional discipline. For others, it was evidence of deliberate distancing from a personal entanglement. Whether intended as boundary setting or misread as emotional withdrawal, the policy raises a question producers and publicists must always negotiate. How does one protect an actor's creative concentration while navigating an eager, intrusive public? In an episode that underscores how little private control stars truly possess, Sıla's stylist briefly posted an unpublished backstage photograph, Sıla trying on outerwear beside a dark-coated figure. The image was deleted within minutes, yet the internet, patient and reflexive, had already archived and disseminated it. Fans analyzed coat hems, shoulder slopes, and shadowed profiles. Some insisted the silhouette matched Halil's known posture. A deletion in the social media era acts as an admission in practice if not in intent. Whether the stylist's upload was an accidental leak or an uncalculated slip, the subsequent capture activated a new wave of timeline reconstructions aiming to locate when and where the two actors might have spent private time together. Morning television segments quickly picked up the thread, folding the incident into traditional formats of speculation. Panelists argued over the ethics of guessing and the appetite of audiences for romantic drama. One commentator described the episode as a private love lived in public shadows, while another urged restraint. Until facts are confirmed, all we have are projections. Such disputes display how celebrity narratives function as public allegories. Viewers project personal hopes and memories onto the images of familiar faces, turning a professional departure into a symbolic test of fidelity, resilience, and the modern desire to inhabit another's intimate life through screens. A former classmate's voice, channeled through a radio interview, added texture, recollections of a reserved personality who loves intensely but guards emotions fiercely. These personal testimonies, anecdotal and partial, are often the most compelling because they humanize. Their inclusion in public discussions reminds audiences that beyond trending tags and frame analyses there are histories and temperaments that precede publicity cycles. What this episode reveals about contemporary celebrity culture is not merely how quickly images travel, but why vagueness becomes a product. Certainty closes the market for speculation, it resolves curiosity and thus reduces content generation. For managers and artists, then, there is a strategic calculus. Sometimes opacity protects relationships and creative priorities, other times it invites invasive consumption that eclipses art itself. Producers, keenly aware of audience attention metrics, reportedly explore whether forthcoming episodes of related projects might slightly recalibrate narrative arcs in order to capitalize on heightened engagement. In entertainment economics, a moment of perceived intimacy often translates directly into ratings, streaming clicks, and broader international attention. Late in the evening, Sıla's final public image before departure was elemental. The view from an airplane window, cloud formations dissolving into distant light, a caption equating the skies weeping with human loss. The sky also cries when you leave what you love. The line reads as elegy, not explanation. It closes the episode with a poetic opacity, leaving interpretation to viewers who prefer narrative arcs to press releases. We've traced the arc from a simple airport photograph to an international conversation. But the essential question remains unresolved, and that is, as always, where audiences step in. Do you believe the airport encounter represented a private goodbye staged to avoid attention, or was it a carefully manufactured public ambiguity? Should public figures be required to clarify such situations to their audiences, or does ambiguity belong to their right to privacy? If you were advising the PR teams on either side, would you counsel openness, strategic silence, or a narrative pivot? Write your answers in the comments, we read them all. And if you found this deep read valuable, subscribe to News Around, smash the like button, and consider hitting join to keep our investigative coverage independent and thorough. The story of Sıla Türkoğlu's departure and the question of Halil İbrahim Ceyhan's presence at the airport are still unfolding. In a media environment that devours certainties and thirsts for intimacies, this episode functions as a mirror. It reflects how we consume stories and how much of human experience we are willing to piece together from a few images and a couple of phrases. Thank you for following this exclusive with News Around. Keep your notifications on, continue the conversation below, and return. We'll be watching every development so you don't have to miss a beat.